When we think about military cyber operations, our minds usually jump straight to, sophisticated code, advanced hardware, all that high-tech stuff. But what if I told you the real frontline isn't managed by machines, but by people? Today, we're cracking open the U.S. Air Force's playbook to see how they build and manage the elite human teams defending our digital world.
So that really begs the question, right? In this incredibly complex world, where a mission's success hinges on having the exact right person with the right skills, in the right place, at the right time, who's the master strategist pulling all those strings? Well, let's find out. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with the big challenge, what we're calling the people problem in cyber defense. Then we'll introduce you to the key leader whose job it is to solve it. We'll break down the puzzle of manpower, look at how people actually get moved into new roles, and explore how they're trained up for the mission. And finally, we'll tie it all together by focusing on the most important part, the human element. Okay, first things first. We have to get our heads around the idea that modern military readiness, especially in cyberspace, isn't just about having the coolest new gadgets. Nope, it's really a massive, complex human resources challenge.
And this right here, this is the core problem, pulled straight from the Air Force's own handbook. The cyberspace battlefield, it's always changing. So the real challenge isn't just technology, it's about effectively and efficiently managing and training the airmen who have to operate in that chaotic environment. I mean, think about it. You can have the best firewall in the world, but it's totally useless without a properly trained and managed team behind it.
So, who is actually tasked with solving this incredibly complex people problem at the unit level? Well, it pretty much all comes down to one key role. Let me introduce you to the Senior Enlisted Leader, or SEL. Now, this isn't just some fancy title. This person is the absolute nerve center for all things people-related in a unit. They're the commander's go-to expert for placing personnel, making sure they're trained, and guiding their careers. They are, for all intents and purposes, the unit's master people manager.
And would you look at the sheer scope of their responsibilities? It's staggering. One minute, they're knee-deep in staffing strategy, advising the commander. The next, they're coordinating deployment logistics. They have to be a training advocate, a career counselor, a talent scout. It's all rolled into one. It's a huge portfolio, and it just goes to show you how absolutely central this role is to the mission.
Now, to juggle all of this, SELs have to become masters of a really fundamental concept in military personnel management. It's a simple but incredibly powerful analogy they use all the time: spaces versus faces. This is such a brilliant way to illustrate the core of their job. So on one side, you have spaces. These are the jobs on paper, the authorized, funded positions that a unit is supposed to have. And on the other side, you've got faces, the actual real-life people assigned to the unit. The SEL's job, day in and day out, is to solve the puzzle of making the faces you have match the spaces you need. Those spaces are officially laid out in a document called the Unit Manpower Document, or UMD. The easiest way to think about it is like an architectural blueprint for the team. It shows every single authorized job, right down to the rank and the specific skills needed. It's the perfect, ideal version of the team. And then the faces, well, you find them on the Unit Personnel Management Roster, or UPMR. This is the actual team roster. It's who you've really got on hand right now. And SEL is constantly comparing this roster against that UMD blueprint, looking for gaps, identifying mismatches, and figuring out a plan to fix it. Okay. So knowing you have gaps is one thing, but how does an SEL actually go about filling them? How do they get the right faces into those empty spaces? Well, it turns out the Air Force has its own kind of internal job market. The whole system is called the Enlisted Talent Marketplace, or ETM, and it's surprisingly methodical. First, a unit puts in a request, a requisition for the space they need to fill. Then, the system spits out a list of people who are actually eligible to move. And finally, the jobs get advertised, and the system helps match the right person to the right position. It's a lot like a corporate hiring platform, really. And I just love this piece of advice from the handbook. It's telling these leaders, hey, think of your job request like an actual job ad. The goal here is to attract the best talent out there. You can't just put up a boring, generic description. You have to sell the mission, talk about the leadership opportunities, and be specific about the skills you're looking for to get the right people to raise their hands. Now, this is a really crucial point, and it's something SLELs have to explain all the time. There is a massive difference between a vacancy and an entitlement. See, just because there's an open job, a vacancy, at, say, a really cool base, doesn't mean just anyone can grab it.
An airman's ability to move, their entitlement, is based on this whole complex web of rules, timing, and, most importantly, the needs of the entire Air Force. It's all about ensuring fairness across the board.
Okay, so you did it. You got the right people in the right seats. The job is done, right? Not even close. Now the SEL has to make sure every single one of those people is trained, qualified, and 100% ready for the mission.
So, this whole training journey is structured like a funnel, starting out super broad and getting more and more specific. It all begins with the CFTP. This is the high-level master roadmap for an entire career field. It lays out the whole journey from being a total newbie to a seasoned expert. Then we zoom in a level to the AFJQs. This document gets more specific, detailing everything you need to know for a certain type of job within that bigger career field. It adds a whole new layer of focus. And finally, we get down to the most granular level, the WJQS. This is customized for a specific team in a specific building working on specific gear. This three-tiered system is what ensures that training isn't just generic. It's tailored precisely to the mission that team has to execute day in and day out. And all this training and manning, it doesn't happen randomly. It all operates on a very specific rhythm called the AFA-Virgin model. You can think of it like a 2-year heartbeat for the entire force. For an SEL, this cycle pretty much dictates everything: when to focus on basic skills, when to really ramp up for advanced mission prep, and when their team has to be absolutely fully ready for deployment. It gives a predictable structure to the chaos of building mission-ready teams.
And that brings us to our final and honestly our most important point, because after you strip away all the documents, the processes, and the cycles, it all boils down to one thing: the human element.
So here's the bottom line. The primary resource is and always will be people. You can have the most advanced cyber weapon system in the world, but it is worthless without a well-led, well-trained, and well-managed team to operate it. The SEL's ability to manage their people isn't just some administrative chore. It is a direct and critical component of mission success. And this final quote is so key. An SEL isn't out there on an island. Their success completely depends on a whole network of other leaders, their commanders, supervisors, trainers, everyone working together. It's a collaborative ecosystem that's focused entirely on developing and managing the Air Force's most valuable asset, its people.
Which leaves us with one final, big question to think about. We've just seen how absolutely critical a human-focused leader is in today's high-tech world. But as technology keeps accelerating and automation starts playing an even bigger role, how must the human leader evolve right alongside it?